Hello, everyone. On this podcast episode, I'm going to talk about gifts and charity and kindness. You have to be careful of people who pretend to be kind. Not everyone who's kind is really kind. There are people who will help you without truly trying to help you. You know, be very careful of gifts. There are a lot of kind people who give you gifts, right? But you have to be careful because not everyone who gives you a gift is giving you a gift that'll help you. Be very careful of gifts. Be very careful of people who appear kind. Be very careful of people who are very helpful. Not everyone is helpful. Not everyone is kind. You have to know that there's some people in this world, right, who only help you as a business transaction. They're only kind to you in order to get something from you. There are two types of people. There are people who are kind, right? And then people who pretend to be kind. You have to be careful of the ones who pretend to be kind. The people who pretend to be kind are the ones who send you gifts, or give people gifts or donate to charity, right? They donate, they help, they do all these, what do you call them? Volunteer activities. They volunteer, they do all these things, right? But the truth is, they're doing it for benefits. A kind person does good deeds without expecting anything in return. A good person helps others without expecting anything in return. A bad person helps others simply to gain something out of it. They help you as a business transaction. They will donate to charity expecting something out of it. They're not kind people. They're just donating to charity. You may say just the act of donating to charity is good, but you have to be careful of these type of people. They're the types who would donate to charity and then a few months later try to take their money back. They're the types who would donate to charity and a few months later try to destroy the charity with their own two hands. Because the charity because donating to charity didn't get them what they wanted. There are many times, there are many, people who would donate money, right? And then start showing it off. They must let everybody know that they donated money. Be careful of people who always shows off and boasts their kindness. Kind people help others without expecting anything in return. People who help you and must let everybody know that they've helped you aren't kind people. They're doing it as a business transaction. It's a Trojan horse. Their gifts and their kindness is a Trojan horse. There's a dagger hidden inside that gift. If you don't do what they tell you to do, or if the scenario doesn't work out, they will betray you because they never helped you. They never helped others simply to help others. They've helped others or they help others for benefits. It's an advertisement, it's an advertisement. They're trying to advertise, you know, themselves. Usually it's either themselves, they're trying to gain fame from donating. Many people don't know how to gain fame. They don't know how to be famous. They don't know how to be successful. They don't know how to change their image to make themselves look, like good people. So the only way they can change their image to make themselves look like better people is what? By donating to charity, by volunteering, by doing all these things, by pretending to be a kind person, by pretending to be kind people. They don't know how to be kind, so they can only pretend to be. So they donate to charity. And when a good person donates to charity, Nobody knows. Only them and the charity. If the charity themselves decide to publicize it, it's fine, right? It is fine if the person who you help decides to let everybody know that you've helped them. It is fine. It is not fine if when you help someone, right, instead of allowing that person to determine whether, he wants people to know of it or not, you're the one who lets everybody know that you've helped them. It defeats the purpose of helping. You're no longer helping just to help. You're helping for benefits. You want fame. You want people to like you. You only helped just to gain fame and benefits. If you're only helping just to gain fame and benefits, just to make people like you, then you're not helping. It's just an advertisement. An advertisement. You're just advertising yourself. Isn't that how advertisements work? You give someone money, right? You give an advertisement company money. Then they advertise you all over the place. Isn't that it? They show, they talk about you all over the place. You tell them, you give them the content of how you want the ads to go. And then they show it to people. That's how ads work. You give them money. You give them the content of how you want, how you want things to flow. You give them you give them instructions of how or what you want them to say about you. And then they say it. It's just a business transaction. That's how these people behave. They give you money and they expect you to let everybody know that you've helped them. Or they themselves constantly remind everyone that they've helped you. What's the point of helping you if they only help you just to gain fame? It's no longer helping you. They're just seeking fame. You have to be careful of people who help you just to seek fame. You have to be careful of people, who help you just to gain benefits. And there are many benefits to helping you. They can gain friends. You know, Many politicians do this when they want to run for office, right? That's when you start seeing them donating to charities. You start seeing them helping this cause, doing this, talking about helping the world. You know, they only want to help the world after they gain, position of power. Only after, they always tell you that, give you that promise. They want to change the world, right? Or they want to change your country. But they can't change your country until you give them something. Until you put them in the position of power that will not help your country. Don't you think that's suspicious? If someone wants to help your country, they will help your country. If someone wants to change the country, they will change the country. You don't need power to change your country. You don't. There are many people who change the country every year. There are many companies who've invented things that made the lives of everyone in your country better. There are too many ways to help your country. If you want to help your country, there are far too many ways to help your country. Donating, volunteering, you know, creating businesses that help others, creating charities. There are too many ways to help others. If a politician truly wants to help others, there are too many ways to help people. If a politician wants to change the country, there are too many ways to change the country. You don't need to be, you don't need to be in a position of power to change the country. You just don't. If politicians tell you that they need to be in a position of power to change the country, they're lying to you. They are lying to you. There are far too many people in this world who have changed their country without having a single position in power, a single position in office. There are too many companies out there who have changed the lives of others. Some of them are charities, and some of them are for-profit organizations who have helped their country, who help their country every single year, who do great things for their countrymen, that do great things for their country. And not a single one of them have power, yet they still help anyways. People who tell you they only want to help you unless you give them something don't want to help you. The politicians that tell you, I want to help you, but you must give me something first. If you don't give me power, I will not help you. That's the mindset of those politicians that tell you they won't help your country unless they're put in position of power. It's a business transaction. If you don't give them power, they don't care if you die. But the moment you give them power, okay, that's when they want to help. Come on now. You're being manipulated. If they only want to help you after you've given them something, they don't want to help you. They just want something. They want power. The moment you give these guys power, you realize they've been lying to you the whole time. People who want to help will help. People who want to change your country will change your country. They will find ways. You don't need to be in a position of power to help your countrymen. You don't need to be in a position of power to change your country. You don't. Be very careful of liars. Be very careful of these people who always pretend they like helping others when they don't. They love pretending. And not all politicians are like that, When I talk about politicians, many people just assume that all politicians are greedy thieves. Not all of them. Some of them are pretty kind, and some of them are not. You have to be careful of the politicians that are not kind. You have to be careful of the ones that pretend to be kind when they're not. And there are many people who pretend to be kind when they're not. And the trait of someone who isn't kind is someone who treats helping others as a business transaction. It's someone who treats helping others as a way to gain fame. Do not trust people who help others just to gain fame. They don't want to help others. They just want fame. Stay away from people who try to manipulate you after helping you. There are too many people who've been killed by those who've helped them in the past. When they want to leave the relationship, when they want to move elsewhere, that's when the person who's helped them in the past tries to kill them. Why? Because if you're the one who's being helped, right, you see it as help. But the person who's helping you doesn't see it as help. That person is buying you. That's why you have to be careful of gifts. That's why you have to be careful of donations. Not everyone who donates to you, not everyone who gives you something, not everyone who helps you is helping you just for your sake. Many people help you. There are many people who help you as a business transaction. They're trying to buy you. They help you, right? Expecting something in return in the future. They'll give you something today, and then every single day from then on, they'll constantly remind you that they gave you something. They'll constantly remind everyone that they've given you something. Because they want everybody to know that they're kind folks, that they've helped you, that you're their slave. People who constantly remind you that they've helped you in the past, you have to be careful of them. It means they're reminding you that unless you pay them back that favor, you can't leave their lives. You're their slave from then on. And the slave cannot escape his master without consequences. That's the mindset of many people. They help you as if they're helping a slave, as if they're buying a slave. The more gift they give you, the more you become under their control. The more they feel like they own you, the more they start to believe they own you. And if you try to escape, that's when you will realize they were never your friends to begin with. They were never trying to help you to begin with. They wanted to help you in the past, expecting that you'll give them something in return. And if you try to leave before you give them that thing that they've been expecting, they could kill you out of anger. Slave masters do not like runaway slaves. Some people give you gifts, trying to buy you, trying to turn you into their slaves. It's a manipulation tactic. Stay away from fake people who treat kindness as a joke, who treat kindness as a way to, to deceive you into being their pet, into being their slave. They give you a little gift, and then they expect you right. They expect to be, they expect you to be their slave for the rest of your life. They give you a tiny little gift. They help you just this once or a few times, and they expect you to be their slave for the rest of your life. And if you don't want to be their slave, that's when you realize slave masters don't like runaway slaves. A good runaway slave is a dead runaway slave. Don't run away from your master. Some people who give you gifts don't see you as nothing more than a slave. They see you as a slave. And if you try to run away from your master, you'll realize your master never had your back to begin with. He wasn't your friend to begin with. All those gifts that has been given you wasn't because he liked you. It was because he never saw you as a free man to begin with. He saw you as a slave. And the slave gets treated well by his master. As long as the slave behaves, the master will still be nice to him. But the moment that slave decides he doesn't want to be a slave anymore, that's when you realize your master was never your friend. He has always been your enemy. Stay away from fake people. Stay away from fake kindness. Not everyone who's kind to you is really kind to you. Not everyone who gives you gifts truly, wants to help you. Many of these gifts are business transactions. You need to see that. People who help you and want everyone else to know that they've helped you aren't trying to help you. They're just advertising themselves. They want everyone else around them to know they're kind. That's why they help you and then publicize it everywhere. You must let everybody know. You must always remind everyone how much they've helped you. Don't you find it strange? Why they always have to let you, they must always remind you how much they've helped you. They must always guilt trip you to do what they want, to make you feel bad for them, to make you like them. After helping you just once or twice, they will never let go. They will constantly remind you how much they've helped you. Be very careful of these types of people. Be very careful of who you accept help from. Be very careful of who you accept donations from or gifts from. Not everyone is kind. Not everyone treats donations and gifts, the same way. Some people don't give people anything unless they get something out of it in return. They will never donate anything to you if they don't see any benefits in doing it. Then there's the equal and opposite. People who will give you money, people who will help you, and they will never mention that they've helped you for the rest of their lives. Even when you guys fight and argue and break up and end up, as total strangers, they will never once mention that they've helped you in the past. Why? Because when they helped you out of kindness. When someone helps you and is a kind person, nobody will know that they've helped you. Only you and them. And they will never mention their help in front of others. Why? Because they don't care. They don't care. People who help you because they're driven to help you. Meaning they like you so much that they don't want you to be harmed. Or they feel bad. They'll feel bad. They'll feel bad for not helping you. They'll feel disgusted for not helping you. These types of people help you out of kindness, out of empathy. They empathize with your cause. That's why they helped you. They don't care about anything else. They only helped you for goodness sake. They only helped you because they wanted to help you. So even if you guys fight and argue, even if you guys break up, even if you guys become total strangers, they will not mention once that they've helped you in the past. That's the behavior of a kind person. Someone who does not want any benefits whatsoever from helping others. Someone who receives no benefits whatsoever from helping others. There are not that many people who behave that way. That's why you have to be careful. Not everyone who donates to charity cares about the cause of the charity. Not everyone. There's been too many cases of people donating to charity, right? Only to start heckling the charity, trying to force the charity to change their ways. They donate to a charity, right? That's helped children, right? Now, after donating to charity that helps children, try to force the charity to help only women, or try to force the charity to help only men, or tries to force the charity to help only children from the ages of 0, 1 day old, to 2. Children beyond that age shouldn't be helped. It's a business transaction. They treat the donations as a business transaction. They give the charity money, and then they start treating the charity like a slave. They try to force the charity to do what they want. And it happens all the time. There are too many charities being sued by people who've donated money to them in the past. Why? Because these people start telling the charity, they start trying to force the charity to do what they want, which defeats the purpose of donating money. You donate money to others. You help others simply to help them, not to force them to do what you want. What's the point of donating money if you're trying to buy the person? What's the point of donating money to charity if you're trying to buy the charity itself and turn it into a private organization owned by you that does everything you tell them to do? What's the point? That's why you have to be careful. Not everyone is who helps you is actually trying to help you. Some of these people treat help as a business transaction, as a slave transaction. They're trying to buy a slave. If they don't know how to buy a slave, they use kindness as a way to buy a slave. They treat kindness as a Trojan horse. If you keep accepting gifts from people, one of these days you accept a Trojan horse, a poisonous gift, a gift laced with poison, poison that will kill you in the future. Not everyone who helps you is trying to help you. Not everyone who's giving you gifts, is actually giving you gifts. Some people are just trying to buy you. If they can't buy you openly, they'll use gifts to manipulate you. And then they'll start to guilt trip you. They try to force you to do what they want. They'll slowly try to control your life. And if you don't allow them to control your life after taking their gifts, a good runaway slave is a dead runaway slave. A good disobedient slave is a dead disobedient slave. Slave masters do not like runaway slaves. Slave masters do not like disobedient slaves. As long as you bow down to what they want, they'll still pretend to be your friend. But the moment you start to disobey them, that's when you realize they never gave you a gift to begin with. They were buying you the whole time. If you don't give them their money back, you're going to be a dead person. They'll find a way to get their money back by hook or crook. If you run away from them after they've bought you with gifts, that's when you realize your master was never your friend. And a good runaway slave is a dead runaway slave. To your master, a good runaway slave will always be a dead runaway slave. Stay away from people who treat you like a slave. Stay away from people who treat gifts like a business transaction. Not everyone is your friend. Not everyone who pretends to be your friend is your friend. Not everyone who gives you gifts are giving you gifts. Some people are trying to buy you, and that's why you need to be very careful. This is a world where there are kind people and evil people, good people and bad people. And you can't tell which is which. You can't tell who is who. So that's it for today's podcast episode. I pray for everyone's safety and understanding. Amen.